Hey guys, how's it going? We're back out of another solo episode today, but not from an omission of, oh, not a mission, but not from a lack of guests, but rather because there's a special episode. Because as of the day that this episode will be fully published, it will be my birthday. I will be turning 26, which, I've never been one of those people to say life goes by so quickly or, where's the time gone or any of that kind of stuff. But this last few weeks has really had me saying, yo, where has the time gone? It feels like my 20s are just flying through right now. And yeah, it got me feeling a little bit nostalgic and whatnot, but I think that's besides the point. I think the actual point is that today I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about 26 lessons that I've learned in my 26 years of being alive. So, as I'm entering the second quarter of my life, I kind of wanted to share some of the things I've learned throughout the first quarter, and hopefully, some people hear these words of advice and it really helps them out. And hopefully, I can remember these lessons in the second quarter of my life and not make the same mistakes again. So, lesson number one: the depths of your mind is the most dangerous place on earth. Don't waste time fighting a demon that cannot be defeated. I think I found that nothing is ever as bad as it seems in your head. Your rumination, the voice inside your head always makes it out worse than what it is. And oftentimes we assign to malice what can be assigned to ignorance or stupidity. I don't think the world's as bad as we think it is. I don't think that people are as evil as we think they are. I don't think life is as bad as we think it is. So spend less time in your head and spend more time in reality. And I think it just leads to a happier and better quality of life, man. If you choose not to learn from your pain, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. A mixture of different Carl Jung quotes, and Carl Jung has been a recent obsession of mine, but it's because he's so brilliant. He also probably was a horrible people, no, horrible people. He also was probably a horrible person. Most psychiatric dudes from the 80s tend to be, but I think he makes a lot of valid points, and I think if you're going to make the same mistakes over and over again, then your suffering is for nothing. You're just going through pain because life is putting you through pain, and because you're putting yourself through pain as well. Great example of this: if you date 20 people and you come to the conclusion that all women are horrible, then I got bad news from you, buddy. It's you that's horrible, but you're refusing to learn the things that life is trying to tell you. So, if you want to let your pain direct your life, let direct your life choices and what you decide to do with yourself, then you're going to call it fate instead of accepting for reality that you're just not growing. No one's watching you. Act like it. Pick yourself up when you get knocked down, clean up your wounds, and go on. I think we really believe that people care so much about us, but people spend very little time thinking about us. You think about yourself more than anyone else. So when you fall down and you think, oh, this is so embarrassing, everyone's going to think so poorly of me, the lights in my studio are busy falling down and it's giving me so much anxiety. I hope that this studio comes across as super professional in the videos, but this thing is held together, shoestrings and hope. Everything falls down 24/7. And I'm literally re-putting everything back together every single time I record. Side note, that's done. Um, yeah, no one's watching you. No one cares about you failing or you making an ass of yourself or you doing something embarrassing. The only one that cares is you. And if you're going to keep on being hard on yourself for your mistakes, your shortcomings, or your failures, then you're the only one that's going to suffer from it. So act like no one saw you. Like, when you're walking down the street and you trip over your own 2 feet and you look around, no one noticed you, so you just continue walking. Do that with life. Do that with your failures, with your insecurities, do that with everything. No one's watching you. Act like it. You have nothing to lose. Scars are honors. Make sure you die with plenty of them. It's funny, when I was a kid, I was actually so scared of getting a scar. I was always like, oh my gosh, What if like I get this cut and then it's forever there and everyone's going to see it and they're going to wonder about it? And now I think scars are great. Like a scar is a story to tell. And I don't mean this just from a physical perspective, but from an emotional perspective. The fact that you went through something difficult and you're still here, you're still continuing, wear it as a badge of honor. Be proud of it. Go out and get as many of those scars as possible. Have as many fuck ups as you can. Have as many failures as you can. Have as many bad relationships as you can. Have as many good ones as you can too. Don't always over index into the bad. But go out and let life hurt you. Because at the end of the day, it's a badge of honor. And the more badges you can accrue, the greater the story of your life will be. We add imperfections to metals to make them stronger. Your character is no different. I remember I was in first year engineering at university, and we had this module called NMC, which we jokingly abbreviated to No Man Conquers. But it's actually material sciences, and they teach you about like the different ways to measure the strengths and properties of materials, what's the difference between something being brittle and something being easily scratched and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things they would teach you is that if you have a pure rod of silver, you then get all the weaknesses associated with silver. I can't remember the weaknesses of silver off the top of my head, so just make some up in yours. But if you take that rod of silver and you add a little bit of copper, some dents, maybe another metal in there, you ionize it. If you add imperfections to it, you then start shoring up some of the weaknesses of silver with the strengths of the imperfections you're adding to it. So that's to say, the imperfections in your character are not a detriment to who you are. In fact, they're your greatest strengths. Your inability to be calm about things makes you a great planner. Your extreme sense of pride also ensures that you create good quality work. Your parents always fighting when you were growing up taught you how to handle conflict well. All your imperfections are also your greatest strengths, so be more proud of them. No one ever said, I started my story when everything was going well and I had my life sorted out. But they often say, I had no other choice. Something had to change. This kind of reminds me of that quote from JFK where he said, pray not for easier times, pray to be stronger men. You can't ask for a strong character and then want an easy life. You can't ask for undying motivation without the extreme pressure that comes with it. If you want to achieve something great, you have to go all in. And going all in means that things are going to be scary, things are going to be dangerous, you're going to have uncertainty. It's going to look really bleak for the first couple of months, first couple of years until it doesn't. But if you want to do something great with your life, then you have to accept that you're going to need to put yourself in a position where you have no other choice but to succeed. No one succeeds in comfort. If you can't stop thinking about it, don't stop working towards it. I think we all want to have this passion for our jobs or this ambition for our jobs where we're just so locked in and we can push ourselves super hard. But the reality is the things that you like are the things that you are going to like are the things you're going to like. If you have an idea in your head, no matter how stupid it seems, but you can't stop thinking about it, find a way to make it work. If you're thinking to yourself, man, I really love dogs. I want to spend my whole day with dogs. You think about German Shepherds and Poodles all day. Find a way to start your own dog daycare or your own dog walking service or something along those lines where the thing that you constantly think about, you can work on it and you can make it your life. Because it's rare to find something that you can't stop thinking about. I think some people would beg for the opportunity to have something always occupied their mind, to have a passion for it. So if you have a passion for something, don't suppress it. Take that passion, translate it to something tangible, and make it your life. And the second that it stops being the only thing you can think about, and it's not been the thing you've been thinking about for a while, then maybe it's time to move on. Maybe it's time to pursue your next obsession. Or maybe it's time to take a break. But most of the time, it means it's time to move on and pursue something else. We're on to lesson number 8 now, for those of you who've lost track. Spend 10 minutes thinking about your life or spend 10 years wasting it. I think this one's super important. I think we all kind of just try to preoccupy ourselves as much as possible to avoid thinking about the things we don't want to think about. You try to like have as many events going on. You try to have Netflix or YouTube on in the background all the time. You try to constantly be listening to something on Spotify. You occupy so much of your life so you never have to think about it, because thinking about your life is scary. It's painful sometimes. But if you don't spend that time thinking about it, you won't be able to pinpoint what's wrong in life. You won't be able to pinpoint what needs changing. And if you don't ever pinpoint what needs changing, 10 years goes by like this. And then you're someone you can't even recognize. And you look back and you think, man, I just wasted 10 years of my life. What do I do now? So spend a good amount of time every now and then, maybe not every day, but every week, every month, whatever cadence works for you, where you just sit down and you think, I'm happy with what's going on in my life right now. What are the parts of my life that I'm unhappy with, and how can I work towards changing that? How can I work towards having a better life? Because if you don't, those problems pile up and pile up and pile up, and one day you notice them because you can't stop piling up problems, and then it looks like this unsurmountable or insurmountable hill to climb. Spend those 10 minutes just thinking. You don't rise to the levels of your expectations, you fall to the level of your systems. I think the biggest takeaway from James Clear's Atomic Habits was that. And I think it's super intriguing, we all kind of, especially men, we have this idea that we're just going to sharpshooter it. Like as soon as that perfect opportunity comes around, like bam, we're going to hit it on the head because we want it so badly. But in reality, that's not how it works. I think the quote is practice makes perfect, and I think a better rendition of the quote I got from my high school English teacher, where she said, perfect practice makes perfect. And what that means is if you think you're just going to automatically be able to do the thing that you want, you don't. You don't rise to what you want to be. You fall to what you already are. So if you want to be someone who's really good at ping pong, then set up a system where you're constantly practicing, where you're always getting at least 30 minutes in a day or something. And then when that ping pong match comes along that you've been waiting for, you're going to fall to the levels of your systems. You're going to fall to the person who practices ping pong 30 minutes every day. Similarly with setting up your lifestyle. If you think when you move in with your future partner to be, all of a sudden you're going to be clean and organized and tidy, but you were never that when you live by yourself, you're not. You're going to fall back to the systems you had in place, which was being disorganized, which was being messy, which was being untidy. So set up those systems now, because when the thing you want comes, you're going to fall back to what you've always been doing. Don't sacrifice the thing you want for the thing you think will get you what you want. The most common place where I see this is where people put money on this unholy pedestal, and they think to themselves, if I have money, then I can buy all these things, then I'll be happy. Or if I have money, then I can buy all these things and I can impress these people, and then I can have friends, and then I'll be happy. When in reality, the thing you want is happiness and friends. The thing you think you will get you what you want is the money. But in the pursuit of that money, you isolate yourself, you work extra weekends, you try to climb the corporate ladder, and you don't get to socialize, you don't get to have a life, you don't get to have the friends you want, you don't get to have the happiness you want. You could have the friends and happiness right now with what you currently have, but you think that the money is the key to getting what you want. So what you do is you sacrifice the opportunities to get those things you want, to get money, because you think money is the end goal. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Don't sacrifice the thing you want for the thing you think will get you what you want. That's a way of saying that you, in most cases, you already have everything you need to get the thing you want. but you're blinded by this idea that something else will help you get it. Don't make that mistake. I think some people waste 40 years of their life, 50 years of their life making that mistake. Some people die making that mistake. You can be a jack of all trades, not a master. Offload niche decisions to specialists. This is obviously one that's a bit of a luxury, but if you have the money and capability to, offload things you're not good at to people that are good at them. So an example, if you are bad at dieting and bad at staying healthy, offload your diet and training decisions to a personal trainer. If you are not financially savvy, offload your decisions to a financial advisor. You can't be great at everything. Most people aren't great at one thing. So if something is really important to you and you are not a master in that thing and you do not have the capabilities to become a master in that thing, find someone that is and offload it to them. Similarly, with me in this podcast, one day I may hopefully, touch wood, hopefully make enough money that I can hire an editor. I'm not good at artsy stuff. I'm not good at making thumbnails. I'm not good at lighting. I'm not good at set design. I'm not good at any of that. So the second I can afford to offload that to someone else who is good at that, I'll do it. And could I maybe become an expert in this? Who knows what the next 4 or 5 years will have in store for me. But my intuitive inclination is that I am a numbers guy. I'm an analytics guy. I love programming. I love math. I'm not a design guy. I'm not creative. I'm not artsy. So the second I can offload very niche, important things to me to someone who is, I'll do it. Complexity and difficulty are not the same thing. Choose the simple choices and make them easy. I've been hammering this one for so long now. It's been 2 months of me hammering this one in. A marathon isn't a complex thing. It's very simple. Put one foot in front of the other, in front of the other, in front of the other. You do it for 42 Ks. Just because it is simple does not mean it is easy. Running a marathon is extremely difficult. Most people in a lifetime will never run a marathon. But it's a simple thing to do. It's not easy to do. And this applies to many things in life. Being in shape is easy. Oh, I'm sorry. Now I'm making a confliction. Sorry, my bad. Being in shape is simple. Eat healthy, move more. Actually sticking to that is difficult. Most of the time, the right answers in life are the simple choices. And then we make this confusion that because they're simple, they must be easy, and therefore it must be wrong because nothing in life comes easy. In reality, the simple choices are often the most difficult to do. Choose a simple thing and find ways of making it easier. Spend a cognitive load that you were going to use on finding a complex answer on making the simple answer easier. It's not the best advice I've ever gotten. 13. If you don't save money when you're poor, you won't save it when you're rich. Don't expect external stimuli to change your habits. This goes back to the you don't rise to the levels of your expectations, you fall to the level of your systems. Same concept. I see so many people saying, oh, I don't make enough money. Once I make enough money, I'll start saving then. I think my father was a great example of this. My father never learned how to save money. My father went from being very poor to being very wealthy very fast. And he never learned how to save money, and it bit him in the butt. And he always complained that things are so expensive and he just can't find the time to save money or the room to save money, I should say. I gotta look at his. You know, it's staying there. I gotta look at his payslip a little bit before he retired. And the amount of money my father made astonished me. The fact that he couldn't save any of it, which is a testament to the fact that he never learned how to. And it's not because he didn't have enough money, but because he was unwilling to learn how to save money when he had no money. So the moral of the story is learn to save now. Learn to do the correct things now because you won't do it later in life if you don't start doing it now. Okay, let's hope those lights stay up now. For those of you keeping track, we're now on to lesson 14. This is one that hits especially hard lately, but when you hit your mid-20s, you'll probably have less than 100 memories left of your parents. Make the most of them. When people hit the mid-20s, it's fair to assume that their parents are hitting around about their 50s, mid-50s, and let's assume everyone's parents live to see 80, which is more rare than people give it credit for. So let's say your parents live to see 80. That means that by the time you hit your mid 20s, they have about 25 to 30 years left. If you see them twice a year, that means you have about 50 to 60 experiences left of them. Let's say you see them 4 times a year. You got about 100 memories of them left, 100 experiences of them left, if you're lucky. And you could say, well, you can make an effort to see them more, blah blah. So you see them 12 times a year. You see them every single month. You have like what, 240 memories of them. A lot more, but man, I think I learned too late in life to appreciate my parents. I think it's very difficult to do it when you're still a kid. It's very difficult to understand how much effort your parents have put in for you and how difficult it is to raise a kid and how difficult it is to take that endeavor to start a family. And now that I'm in my mid-20s, I appreciate my mom so much and I wish I appreciated her more throughout my life. So we right now, everyone listening to this, if your parents are still around, make the most of your time with them. They may not be perfect, but they did their best, and one day they'll be gone, and you'll miss them, and you're gonna wish you made more of the time you had together. You're not special. Most people have the same struggles that you do, so treat them the way you want to be treated. A guy in my Connect group refers to this as the golden rule, which is treat others the way you want to be treated. And I think it's so true. I think if you are having trouble making friends and you see someone else is struggling with that same thing, go be a friend to them. If you see someone is struggling with their weight and you struggle with your weight, go comfort them with the words you wish you heard from someone else. All the things that you wish people said to you when you were struggling with those issues, go say them to them. They're just like you. They deal with the same things that you do. Stop thinking you're special and you deserve to be treated so well by everyone else, but you can't give that treatment out to other people. Most people have the same struggles. Most people have financial struggles. Most people have self-image struggles. Most people have, most people were bullied growing up. Most people have the same struggles. So everything that you wish you heard and all the comforting you wish you got, give that to other people. Nothing in life can't be solved or at least remedied by a good community. I talk about a couple times on the channel how Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, Pythagoras, all these ancient philosophers, people that lived in the BCs, they talked about how important good friends are. I think if you're by yourself, life becomes super difficult. If you are constantly alone, you don't have someone to depend on, you don't have someone that can give you a hug, that can tell you it's going to be okay, life's going to be tough. Most problems can't be analytically solved. But man, if I don't feel better after getting an ice cream with a friend after a rough day, or getting a hug from someone, or just spending some time with somebody and talking about sports or a series, so many of your problems can be solved by having a good community. So make sure you build one. Make sure you have 4 or 5 people that you love, that you hold dear to you, and that you can rely on when things get tough, and that can rely on you when things get tough. It makes life a hell of a lot easier. Don't expect anyone to support you more than you support yourself. This one I still battle with. This one's still tough because it's difficult to think that you're worthy of things. I think society has kind of made it a sin almost to feel like you deserve things. You deserve a lot. You deserve great things. But no one's going to think higher of you than you. And you need to get that through your head. No one's going to think you're funnier than you think you're funny. No one's going to think you're smarter than how smart you think you are. No one's going to think you're more charismatic than what you think you are. So if you want people to see you a certain way, you have to see yourself that same way. There's no way around that. And I'm not saying go be a prick about it. Don't be this bashful, full of yourself, egotistical person, but be confident. I heard recently this great quote saying that, oh, this great idea that says you can't build confidence because you can't lose confidence. You build insecurity. Because when you are a kid, when you're 2, 3 years old, you're the most confident person ever. I think back to myself when I was 10 years old, I was unbelievably charismatic, unbelievably confident. No one could have said anything to me. And then the insecurities build through all these traumatic events, and eventually you start to build insecurity and your confidence gets hidden. But you need to find a way to shovel off all those traumatic events, all that insecurity, and go back to being who you used to be so that confidence in yourself can bleed into people's confidence in you so that other people can support you as much as you support yourself. And you should support yourself the most out of anybody. You should be your number one fan. Don't expect anyone to support you more than you support yourself. You need to believe in yourself as much as you can so other people can believe in you. The axe forgets, but the tree remembers. Your tongue is a pretty sharp axe. I can remember things from my childhood of things my mom said to me that she didn't think was problematic at all, but it stuck with me my whole life. And I brought this up to her. I said, Mom, you remember when you said this to me when we were in this one store when I was 7 years old? I still think about that to this day. And she's like, I have no recollection of that. None whatsoever. Things that you just say in passing, that you say casually, that you don't even think about, they can hurt other people a lot. And I think back to some of the most hurtful things that people have said to me, they probably haven't even realized it. I can name a great example. Some of you may know this. I had a hair transplant. Looks pretty good now. But I was at a party 2 years ago with a friend from university that I hadn't seen in a long time. And he kind of just made a passing joke where he's like, oh, I see this hasn't gotten better. He probably doesn't even remember making that joke. But I remembered it so much that that's the day that I started booking to go get that hair transplant. So the things you say, you might forget them, but they might impact someone so, so hard. Be careful of what you say. Try to lean into saying more kind things. Because the axe remembers, the axe forgets, but the tree remembers. You need to take, ooh, you need to take it easy, but you still need to take it. Okay, this time for real, I'm leaving it. Like, you guys can just, this can be our secret. I'll fix that light tomorrow. I swear. To God, I swear I'll fix this light tomorrow. I'm leaving it in for now. You need to take it easy, but you still need to take it. I have this big discourse of, I think that a lot of people take it too easy on themselves. I think a lot of people are not critical enough. They aren't honest enough. They're not reflective enough to realize their shortcomings. I also believe the opposite is true. I believe there are people that are too critical on themselves, they're too hard on themselves, they're too reflective. You need to find that balance where you're not beating yourself up for everything, but you're still going after what you want. Because the problem is when you're too easy on yourself, you're never motivated to go do the things that you want. And then the motivation hits you way too late in life, and the opportunity's gone. The opposite is if you're always too hard on yourself, you're never going to have the grace to actually enjoy life. So there has to be a happy medium. And here's what you do. If you are a type A person, meaning that you're usually too hard on yourself, go learn how to take it easy on yourself. If you are a type B person, meaning you are too easy on yourself, go learn how to be a type A person. If you are on one of the extremes, learn how to be the other extreme. That is the battle you will face your whole life. And that's the price you pay for the advantages that come from the other side. So realize you need to take it easy, but you still need to take it. You need to be kind to yourself, but you still have to have the initiative, and you still have to have the gumption to go after the things you want. For those of you still keeping track, lesson number 20. And we're getting up to the end now, 6 lessons left. This is actually going to be a particularly short video. Didn't even realize that. Maybe it's good. I think these short videos do better anyways. Lesson number 20. You only get one body, take care of it. I think it's so underrated still to so many people on you're not going to get a second body. And here's the other thing, for people that are around my age, 25 to 35, you're in your prime. However you feel now, it only gets worse. Physically, it only gets worse. So if you don't feel amazing right now, if you don't feel like you're made out of rubber bands and magic, then this is giving you a problem. You haven't taken care of your body. And I've seen it with my dad. My dad got to a super old age. He smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day. He was obese. He gave himself diabetes and he still ate a lot of sugar. Ate a lot of fried food, never exercised. That bill comes to pay hard. And you don't want that. Another thing is, do you want to get to the end of your life? Do you want to get to 45 and realize, man, I never pushed my body and now I'll never have the chance to? I'd rather get to 45 and be regretful of how hard I pushed myself than look back and be like, man, I wish I at least tried. So you got one body, take care of it. Exercise, eat well, chill out of the alcohol. I think more people need to hear that than they realize. Chill out of the alcohol. Don't do stupid drugs. Don't try to impress people. Don't do steroids. Take care of your body. I think it's a very simple thing, but not enough of us actually execute on it. Life is found in depth, not the breadth. Oh, life is found in the depth, not the breadth, but experience is found in the breadth. I always had the saying that you pay more for a brain surgeon than you do for a general surgeon. And that's the value of depth. The better you are at something, not only the more love do you have for it, not only the more passion do you have for it, the better you'll be at it, the more people will be willing to pay you for it. Being a specialist in terms of a career and in terms of passion is overrated. Wait, being a generalist is overrated. Being a specialist is underrated. You should find things that you love and go deep on those. But that being said, the joys and the experiences and the arts of life are in the breadth. Let's take Joe Rogan, for example. He's a good example. He found his depth in hunting and MMA and stand-up comedy. But he finds his depth in yoga and animals and weird conspiracy theories. He finds enjoyments across a vast spectrum of things. And that's how you should be. Find enjoyment across a vast spectrum of things. Try all a bunch of stuff, right? But when it comes to the things that you want to be good at, go deep on them. Learn them well. Become a specialist. And that's how you get the most reward from both sides. The most financial reward, the most career reward, or career satisfaction, you can say, and the most emotional reward. Life is found in the depth, not the breadth, but experience is found in the breadth. Food feeds the body, education feeds the mind, art feeds the soul. Make sure you're not starving. I think we are all very quick to feed our bodies, and maybe feed our bodies poorly. I think maybe I should add to this that food and exercise feeds the body. We're very quick to feed our bodies. Some of us are quick to feed our minds. Some of us are quick to learn as much as we can and read as many books and do seminars and do this course, do that course. But I don't think enough of us feed the soul. I think most people's souls are starving. Find some artistic outlet that makes your soul feel good. Whether that's painting, whether that's video making, whether that's singing, playing an instrument, anything you find art. Something where you can express yourself, be yourself, authentically present yourself to other people. That is art. That feeds your soul. Make sure your soul isn't starving. For those of you that are brain rotting away Make sure your mind isn't starving. For those of you that are killing your body, make sure your body isn't starving. Okay, getting to the end here. 23. Religion is either of no importance or the utmost importance. Find out which one it is to you. I find people that are lukewarm on religion so interesting. I think that people that have never questioned their faith are very ignorant. Like, do you truly believe if you've never challenged that belief? Similarly said, I think, and this is going to maybe be a bit of a personal one, but I think most people who identify as Christians aren't actually Christians, they're just theists. They just believe in a God, and the most popular form of theism is Christianity in their country. Because if you ask most people, are you a Christian? And they say yes, and then you ask, do you believe in God? All of them will say yes. If you ask them, do you think Jesus rose from the dead? A lot of them will be like, maybe, I don't know. Then you're just straight up not a Christian, and you just haven't thought about it enough. If you believe religion is true, or if you believe a religion is true, for example, if you believe Christianity is true, then Christianity is the most important thing. Because that means there is a God, and he has very set things that are known about him, and you should know that, and you should incorporate it into your life. If you think there is no God, you believe in no religion, then have that stance. On the atheist side of things, I think people that say, I'm an atheist because I don't think that there's an angry guy in the sky shaking his fist being mad at gay people. You haven't thought about it enough. You haven't taken enough views on this topic. So my recommendation is, it's either not important at all and you can dismiss it for the rest of your life, or it's the most important thing in the world and you need to follow it for the rest of your life. So make your choice on it very quickly, very soon, and be sure of it. Like, actually do the depths of the research needed to come to the conclusions that you need to come to. I am 100% okay with people learning as much about Christianity as choosing to be an atheist, or choosing to be a Muslim, or choosing to be a Hindu, or whatever. I think Alex O'Connor is a great example of this, where Alex O'Connor knows more about Christianity than 99% of Christians. I am not okay with people dismissing it without giving it due respect. And I'm also not okay with people just believing on it without doing the opposite or the antagonistic views they do respect. I think people need to go on a 6-month journey, more or less, at some point in their lives where they really dig into this question, they really decide what is the answer. Most problems can be solved with a walk on the beach. I think I told this story a couple times on my channel now, but the one day I was having a super bad day and I was getting really upset with myself and I was so pessimistic by everything and I was like, oh, I can't do life right now. And then I went to go meet a friend at the prom and the prom. And then my friend got stuck in traffic and she was an hour late. And I just sat there on the prom, no data on my phone, no Wi-Fi, and I just looked out into the ocean for an hour. And I felt so much better. Spend some time in nature every now and then to just remind yourself that all the problems and all the things you're going through, they're finite. They exist in a vacuum. They're not the be all end all, and there's more to life than the problems you're currently dealing with. The other one I'd like to kind of frame this one with is look back 10 years ago to something that felt like the most important thing in the world to you and think, is it still the most important thing in the world to you? The answer is probably no. So if you got over that, you can get over whatever you're going through right now. 25, second to last. You have all you need to be happy. Gratitude is more important than possession. I think most people could benefit from being more grateful. I think people push the goalposts on happiness and they just say it's on the other side of something. It's like, once I get this degree, I can be happy. Once I get this job, I can be happy. Once I have a wife, I can be happy. Once I have kids, I can be happy. You keep on doing this, and eventually what you end with is, once I'm dead, I can be happy. And I don't want to wait for death to be happy. So find some find something that helps you feel more grateful towards life. Find the time to be grateful towards life, to write down the things you're happy for. And I promise you, even if your circumstances don't change at all, you'll probably feel a lot more happier in the end. The last one, lesson number 26. No matter what your beliefs are, what's on the other side of death is unfathomable. So act like this is your only go at it. I'm not going to elaborate on that one. I'll let you guys elaborate on that one in the comments. And while you're done commenting, why not give this a like? Why not subscribe to the channel? Why not follow for more? Why not share this with a friend? Why not let me know of some of the lessons you've learned in your life? Let me know what you think of these lessons. Collaborate, guys. And until next time, have a great day and happy birthday to me. Peace.